And the poor, them promise say, them bring development and better education. Our lands are fertile, no food on the land. Our children, we're pushing it to bag. Look the way we're living, we're treating one another unfair. Look the way we're living, we're treating one another unfair. What's the hope for the future? What's the hope for the future? What's the hope for the future? The hope for the future. Our forefathers were taken into slavery, but in a modern time like this, we're children and slaves. We're fighting a war not with guns and bullets. The enemies I see are my brothers and my sisters. We're diggers of graves while we're still living. Don't judge a book by its covers. Looks can be deceiving. Whenever the sun shines, must come a rain. Who will come and take away the pain?
The enemies we see are our brothers and our sisters.
We treat them one another.
Don't take anything away from the reality.
Like the way we live it, we treating one another unfair. Yeah. What's the hope for the future? What's the hope?
Otaka Kahu is watching from his residence in Maryland, the United States of America. We say welcome to the show. Welcome to Talk Liberia.
What's the hope for the future? What's the hope for the future? What's the hope for the future? The hope for the future.
What's the hope for the future? Are you sensing something positive about Liberia, the justice system, after everything that just transpired today? Folks, welcome to Talk Liberia on the Cross Africa Network. I'm your host, your humble 7 Lo-Fi Julius. And we're coming to you live from the People's City of Raleigh, the state of North Carolina. Join us and do us a favor, share the video, invite somebody, tell somebody else to come and be a part of this conversation.
Yeah. Say, I love, eh.
If you're joining us for the first time, we want to welcome you to Talk Liberia.
Everybody on the hustle. Some people know like peace. They want some trouble.
Roland O. Garpool II, welcome to the show.
The government can protect.
Wherever you may be joining us from, we want to welcome you to Talk Liberia.
No justice.
This is your host, your humble 7 Lo-Fi Julius.
Yeah.
And of course, I come to you live from the People's City of Raleigh, the state of North Carolina. There's the Blue Devil State.
Look the way we live it, we treating one another unfair. Look the way we live it. What's the hope for the future?
What's the hope for the future for Liberia?
Future.
When the politicians are actually ignoring the plights of the people.
The hope for the future.
A lot of things to talk about today about Mama Liberia.
In abundance, but we die and rot and greed.
We have a whole lot of things in abundance, but we're dying rotten rich.
Cause all we have is pharaohs. Yeah.
We have pretenders.
Our suffering is what they're making business of. Yeah.
In our suffering is what they're making business of. The rich continue to get rich and the poor continue to suffer.
And better education. Our lands are fertile, no food on the land. Our children, we're pushing into bag. Look the way we're living, we're treating one another unfair. Look the way we're living, we're treating one another unfair. What's the hope for the future?
What's the hope for the future when you got politicians who are honestly just disingenuous to the people?
The hope for the future.
What's the hope for the future when your political system is rotting with a bunch of thieves, liars, and you name the rest of it?
And slaves will fight them.
Those who cannot stand the truth and will rather just have themselves just in the little clique and about themselves.
With diggers of
and don't want to hear the reality of what is supposed to be happening on ground and pretend to understand the actuality. I'm telling you, folks, Liberia is getting nowhere if we don't stand up to all of these hypocrites.
One another unfair. Like the way we live.
Nita Wilson, how are you doing, Mama? Good to see you right back on here. Welcome back to Talk Liberia. Nita Wilson, I want to say thank you for continuously supporting the idea of Talk Liberia and the platform across Africa.
For the future, the hope for the
Wherever you may be joining us from, we want to thank you. If you have not commented and we have not recognized you, do us a favor, just state your name so we can acknowledge you on the platform.
hope for the future,
What's going on with our people in Liberia?
for the future.
What is the hope for the future when young people are dying, young women are being raped, and they are attempting to kill our young sisters? Like the situation of Jessica Lloyd, when the Caucasians feel like they can just take over what they want to and how they want to do it, folks, we need to talk about this. Isaac Rui, welcome to the show, boss man. Good to have you on here, Isaac Rui.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Say, Allah, eh. Day not break, everybody on the hustle. Some people know like peace, they want some trouble. Crime rates on the increase. The government can protect the people. Hold up, no justice for the poor.
Otaka Kahu, he said, welcome news today from the Supreme Court of Liberia for ruling against our president boycott.
Where we living, we treat them.
Every meaningful Liberian will welcome the idea and be definitely appreciative of the fact that justice has been served.
What's the hope for the future? What?
Eugene, Utah, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. Eugene said, I am watching you from Buchanan. Welcome to the show, Eugene.
Abundance, but
Thank you for being here today,
I
Eugene.
didn't read. We pray, asking the Lord for another Moses, cause all we have is pharaohs. Yeah. In our suffering, it's what they're making business of. Yeah. The rich get richer, and the poor people suffer. Them promise say, them bring development and better education. Our lands are fertile, no food.
We promise to bring you education and better health care, but it's not about you.
Look the way we live
It's all about themselves.
one another unfair. Yeah.
Mr. Nelson Gaga, welcome to the show. The Mayor Riverside Pro, welcome to the show. As you guys join us today, we want to thank you all for being a part of Talk Liberia on the Cross Africa Network.
What's the hope for the future?
And for those of you who have been pushing for Talk Liberia to have her own established schedule program, we can say thank you. Thanks for pushing the idea.
Yes, we're taking in
This is what we do right here.
no more than time like this.
The
We're
people first.
slaves. We're fighting the war not with guns and bullets. The enemies I see are my brothers and my sisters. We're diggers of graves while we're still living. Don't judge a book by its covers. Looks can be deceiving. Whenever the sun shines, must come a rain. Who will come and take away the pain? Look the way we're living. We treating one another unfair. Look the way we living. We treating one another unfair.
Let's see that Chelsea P. Norris. We love the way you're being a part of this conversation today. But do you really like the way Liberia is going? You're teaching us the bad principles and you're telling us what you expect us to do, but you're doing something different in the back.
What's the
Let's choose Chelsea P. Norris. Thank you for being a part of today's conversation.
hope for the future? What's the hope for the future? The hope for the future. Yeah.
Liberian, what's the hope for the future of the next generation of people to come on? Are you ready? Deception, lies, and everything else. What's going on with the Supreme Court ruling today, folks? We will open up the phone lines to give you opportunity to chime in and give your views on what you think about the actual verdict from Jessica Lloyd's court case. And we also want to hear about the Supreme Court's verdict. What do you make of it? What do you think will actually be the view of the people?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Say, Allah, eh.
River says, "Bro, I'm not complaining. No complaint here tonight. I'm good."
Day now break.
You know what it said when daybreak mouth open, right? I beg you, yeah.
Oh, like peace. They want some trouble. Crime rates on the increase. The government can protect the people. Oh, Lord, no justice.
Hey, River says, "Bro, man, said why you have to come on when I'm at work?" Sorry, boss man.
We treat them one another.
We're working on what we need to work on, boss man. We will have a fixed schedule where all of us can be a part of the show together.
Unfair.
But in the meantime, we have a whole lot of work to do. Liberia is going down the drain, and we must remain consistent.
What's the hope for the future? What's the hope for the future? The hope for the future. Yeah. We have everything in abundance, but we die and rot and breed. We pray, asking the Lord for another Moses, cause all we have is Pharaohs. Yeah. In our suffering is what
That's
they're
what
making
making
business
business
of.
of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
rich get
rich,
richer and the poor people suffer. Them promise say, them bring development and better education. Our lands are fertile, no food on the land. Our children, we're pushing into bag. Look the way we're living, we treating one another unfair. Yeah. Look the way we're living, we treating one another unfair. Yeah. What's the hope for the future? What's the hope for the future? What's the hope for the future? The hope for the future. Our forefathers.
You know, folks, let's get into today's conversation. We are very excited. We are grateful that all of you are on here tonight as a part of our Talk Liberia platform with the program and on Across Africa Network. Um, guys, we have had so many opportunities to engage Liberian from every spectrums. The government, the people themselves need to get the needed education, but we cannot do it in the midst of individual or what I will get into that in a little bit. Let's start off first of all by saying welcome to all of you on here. Welcome to Talk Liberia. Grateful to have you all on here. If this is your first time on the platform, Talk Liberia, we say thank you for being here. Please make this your home. Be a part of the conversation as often as you can. For those of you who are new to the network Across Africa, we also want to say welcome to Across Africa. We appreciate you for being here. As often said, I'm your host, your humble seven, Lofa Julius, and I come to you live from the people city of Raleigh, the state of North Carolina. Today we had a beautiful weather with just a little bit of rain. But at the end of the day, it was a beautiful weather because it was nice and warm. You could get out there and walk around. Now, if you're joining us from one of the cities where you still experiencing snow, possibly, if you're joining us from one of those city or states where it is warm and hot, we also want to say we are sorry that you're experiencing whatever it is at this time of the year. You should be preparing yourselves for this summer. It's unfortunate that some of you are actually still experiencing the snow, but we can rest assure you that we are not here to discuss the weather. Not are we here to discourage you about the current weather or geography of every part of the United States or part of the world. Instead, we are here to discuss Liberia, and that's why Eclipse States Talk Liberia. Welcome, and please have your seat, get yourself what you need to get, and be a part of the conversation because this is what we do right here on Talk Liberia. Today, you heard of the Supreme Court ruling. A lot of Liberians are giving their views, and it kind of in the middle of everything. Some are saying, yeah, they kind of disagree with the Supreme Court. Others are celebrating the mere fact that the Supreme Court ruled the way she did. Okay. The reason why a lot of Liberians are actually celebrating this is it because of the political affiliations, or is simply because of the mere fact that they are experiencing or sensing some level of justice in the country. I cannot speak to that because I am not of the legal background. These are some of the reasons why. Happy heavenly birthday, Quincy B. Okay, that's a good one. Definitely, Sita. Happy heavenly birthday to Quincy B. You know what? Let me just take this opportunity. I'm glad that Sita kind of, she brought this to my attention. Definitely, we must acknowledge the young man for his contribution to our music industry. He was well respected and is well respected. So I think just for the sake of that comment right there and acknowledging his contribution to Liberia. Let's play this music one more time because his message remains with us. Please, folks, let us just listen to this music one more time from the man Quincy B. It says, "What is it? What are we doing? How are we doing? How are we treating our people?" Quincy B. Check and balance.
Ah, yeah, 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 yeah. Say, Allah, eh. Day and break, everybody on the hustle. Some people know like peace, they want some trouble. Crime rates on the increase. The government can protect the people. Hold up, no justice for the poor. Yeah, look the way we're living. We treating one another unfair. Unfair. Look the way we living. We treating one another unfair. Look the way we living. What's the hope for the future? What's the hope for the future? What's the hope for the future? The hope for the future. Yeah. We have everything in abundance, but we die and rot and breathe. We pray, asking the Lord for another Moses, cause all we have is pharaohs. Yeah. In our suffering is what they're making business out. Yeah. The rich get richer and the poor people suffer. Them promise say, them bring development and better education. Our lands are fertile, no food on the land. Our children, we're pushing into begging. Look the way we're living, we're treating one another unfair. Yeah. Look the way we're living, we're treating one another unfair. Yeah. What's the hope for the future? What's the hope for the future? What's the hope for the future? The hope for the future. Our forefathers were taken into slavery, but in a modern time like this, we're children and slaves. We're fighting a war not with guns and bullets. The enemies I see are my brothers and my sisters. We're diggers of graves while we're still living. Don't judge a book by its covers. Looks can be deceiving. Whenever the sun shines, must come a rain. Who will come and take away the pain? Look the way we're living, we're treating one another unfair. Look the way we're living, we're treating one another unfair. Yeah. What's the hope for the future? What's the hope for the future? What's the hope for the future? The hope for the future. Yeah. What's the hope for the future? What's the hope for the future? What's the hope for the future? The hope for the future. Yeah. The hope for the future. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, again, let us use this opportunity to thank Sita for bringing our attention to Quincy's birthday, and his birthday celebration. I'll just tell you guys a little story. My encounter with his mother, very humble woman. Um, I think it was 2017 when I visited Liberia. I had the opportunity to meet with his mother, and we conducted an interview. Says Rebecca Gussie, welcome to the show, Mama. Fifi Pensy, welcome to the show. All of you that are on, welcome, welcome, welcome. We continue to say welcome, everybody. I had the opportunity to visit Quincy's mother. We sat for at least um a couple hours. Man, if you want to know how a mother feels about their child, I, it was only 30 minutes into the conversation. I had a 2 hours long conversation with this woman, and we will get into politics a little later. Please allow me to just share with you my experience with this woman. It was one that I cherished even up until today's date. Um, I'm afraid that she will call sometimes. I'm afraid to really talk to her because of how I feel, just because of how eh, I don't know how to really explain this. Sometimes when you talk to people and you're in pain, people say, like in the case of death, I know how it feels. No, you really don't. And we really don't know how it feels. But I was stunned. I was shocked. I was literally, it was something that I felt like I wish I could do something. At the time, his father was also, I mean, he was there in a part of the conversation. Man, when this woman narrate her story about her son, where QB came from, and how passionate she was about him going to church and being that that impact, that role model, and to see that today Liberians around the world celebrates his contribution. It's only the very minimum that we probably could have benefited from this young man. So lost so early. Like a lot of people continue to comment about a talent that probably would have gotten us to that recognition, word recognition, like that of George Weah, probably Michael Jackson, other renowned athletes and musicians around the world. Who knows? But God, for whatever reason, in his best judgment, allowed what happened to have happened to him. Regardless, his legacy remains with all of us. And let us continue to celebrate him. Welcome to my sister, Sana You Queen. Thank you for being here. And everybody else who's here with us. Great, 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 great day. So all of you heard. I wish that I wish all of you will chime in on the conversation today as we discuss the Supreme Court's decision. And now a lot of you heard of it, and a lot of you are wondering as to what really happened. Can or should the current government be given credit for the Supreme Court's decision? I heard some of our colleagues are trying to kind of play around with the decision and make it seem as though this was a decision that was or is heavily supported by the boycott government. I want us to be very careful when we buy into politicians. You know why I often refer to these guys as politicians and caution ties most young Liberians who have not been a part of Liberian politics to be very careful as to how they deal with these individuals who have been part of the politic and beneficiaries of these political scams and financial gains. Is because we understand their mindset. We know how they behave. Okay. And it is very simple to come to that logical conclusion that there are people who will pretend to be in the best interest of Liberians. Do you all remember a few years ago, UP partisans were all over the social media pretending to be advocates when, oh, what's the guy named Wabaduki? The dude from Nigeria was appointed to a specific position. All the partisans from Unity Party, they were offended. They had a problem. They had a problem with everything that was happening. They were given inputs. Matter of fact, some of them became overnight activists and what we will call them, political scientists, propagandists, and you name the rest of it. Today, it is rare that they even speak to some of the critical issues in our country, like the case of Jessica Lloyd, the recent release, the human rights report that was released by the United States. By this time, 2017, 2018, you would have heard several podcasts highlighting the ills in society, the release of the report, and the recent verdict from the Supreme Court. That would have been the topic for every social media platform. But here's the reality, though. Welcome to the show, says your Cindy. Great to have you on here. A woman of our time. A woman of our time. I always say to people, she and I we can fight, we can do our fighting. But we remain consistent on our path. Okay. But here's the honest reality as to why most young Liberians, especially when it comes to politics, should never be and can never be trusted. It's because of little things such as what we are experiencing today. I got quite a few videos I want to play for you guys to start tonight's podcast. We will get into the Supreme Court's judgment. But what I don't want you guys to lose track of is what I believe. And I'm sensing this could probably be part of the reason why things may have gone the way it went. Is it possible that they are trying to distract us from the reality that the promise made by President Boykai about his 100 days achievement, the promise will not be met? So they're trying to distract us. Could that be a possibility? I mean, it would be fair for somebody to just call my attention. Am I just being a little too straight about the reality here? Could that possibly be the case? Because obviously, for a man who served in government for 40 some more years, to have expected anything different from the Supreme Court ruling, you must be out of your mind. You must have been drunk when you made that decision. And especially when the decision made, this entire law came into play during the UP Ellen's regime. How in your mind can you claim to be educated, The self-proclaimed educated people, you made a law, it went into play, and then you play victim to that law? Who do you really think is supposed to sympathize with you? Don't you think some of the judges and associate judges are actually looking to leave behind legacies? Honorable Boycott may not be thinking about his legacy anymore. He's only focusing on leaving behind wealth for his sons, his daughters, and other immediate relatives. But there are other people who probably feel like we should not sit here and allow our legacy to be dragged in the mud. So let us do the right thing. But if you have to think about it, nobody in their right mind, after the self-proclaimed experience, government official, vice president, for 12 consecutive years, to have made such mistake, amen. Do you really want us to sit and believe that this decision by the Supreme Court is a surprise? After 40 some more years of serving in government, you will think that he understands. For the Ben Simon and other people who only work as appointee to Charles Taylor, the notorious warlord, can proclaim or project themselves as political, scholars in Liberia. So, then we're talking about a man who's supposed to be a vice president, the former vice president, who finally became the president after 12 consecutive years, to now sit and make such mistake. You want us to believe that it was a mistake or it was intentional? After telling us in 100 days, all of the roads will be paved, no car will get stuck. You want us to really believe that nonsense? Let us play this. I'm going to play this to bring our attention to something that I believe is only right. I'm not fussy, Sister Cindy. I'm just being okay. I want to share something with us. Let's do this for just for the sake of our listening audience, and then I will dive deeper into this conversation. How can you dare think that you can manipulate and bamboozle the system the way that you can do these things? The legal minds and other people who are beneficiaries of our education system, institutions that provides actual education, you will understand that, hey, guess what? People believe in the work of actual integrity, moral beliefs. Listen to what Honorable Boycott said in this video, and I'll play this again. And I want to be crystal clear on this part. All right. Honorable Boycott served in government for 40 some more years. Served in government for 40 some more years. He made this mistake. Is he simply doing this to cover up for his incompetence? And upon that, he's traveling to the United States, which we're going to discuss. But let us actually talk about this. And that's why I referenced Ben Sanvi, a young man who actually served under the notorious Charles Taylor, appointed position, and he did a thing, who is regarded, who actually even understands a little bit more about Liberia politics compared to the man who served 40 some more years. And you see why I'm making this comparison? You see why I'm making this comparison? Think logically. Why? 40 some more years. Why do you think this decision was made? And of course, why are they trying? Could this possibly be a distraction to the reality on ground? Let's listen. I want us to go back so that you can understand my point of emphasis. Listen to what is happening here. And if we're not careful, our political arena will be hijacked by a bunch of political dependents. These are people who rely heavily on political jobs. If you're not careful to think about it, some of us made these, we suggested to you guys. We told you guys before. Look, liberal politics, if you made the decision, if you make this decision, you will end up as a victim. You didn't listen. You elected group of people who had no idea, no agenda as to how they can transform Liberia. Now you're complaining, you're crying again. And we are now sitting in the back and reminding you guys of what we told you. Listen to what Honorable Boykai said few months ago. Listen.
First and foremost, the Liberians have been complaining, they've been yearning for many, many things. We want to quickly review, find reasons for some of the hardship, especially in those areas that are essential to their livelihood. Why make the price of rice high? Why make the price of some of the things that touch the soul of the person? Immediately we'll review those things there, and then we can start moving into something. I've said in the first 100 days, no car will get stuck on a major road in this country. First and foremost, the Liberians have been complaining, they've been yearning for many, many things. We want to quickly review, find reasons for some of the hardship, especially in those areas that are essential to their livelihood. Why make the price of rice high? Why make the price of some of the things that touch the soul of the person? Immediately we'll review those things there, and then we can start moving into something. I've said in the first 100 days, no car will get stuck on a major road in this country.
I reiterate for the sake of our listening audience tonight. Honorable Boykai clearly stated, I said, and I quote, I said in the first 100 days of my presidency, no car will get stuck on a major highway in this country. If I'm lying, correct me. I will play it one more time, just so that you all can listen and hopefully learn from something that is stated here. I will play it one more time. Listen for yourselves. Okay? Listen.
We want to quickly review, find reasons for some of the hardship, especially in those areas that are essential to their livelihood. Why make the price of rice high? Why make the price of some of the things that touch the soul of the person? Immediately we'll review those things there, and then we can start moving into something. I've said in the first 100 days, no car will get stuck on a major road in this country.
In the first 100 days, no car will get stuck on any major highway in this country. Why that is being reviewed, why you're processing that in your heads. Let me share with you recent videos that was shared with us. Okay? Let's watch what happened. Recent watch what's happening here. It's only 2 minutes and 58 It's 2 minutes and 58 seconds long.
Okay, folks, Spawn TV Live, we are here between Zueju and Toastown. We are headed to Toastown, but the road here, as you can see, is very, very deplorable. I mean, it's beyond deplorability. Very, very bad. It's nearly impassable. As you can see, the trucks have gotten stuck from both sides of the road. So there's no way for any vehicle from Zueju headed to Nimba to pass through very easily until these trucks can be removed, until they can make their way out of this mud. But that's how bad the road situation here is between Zueju and Toastown. I don't know how it's going to be like going further. This is just one of the very worst parts of the road. Other parts of the road are not smooth, but at least they are passable. But for this part of the road is nearly impassable. Nearly impassable. So we are here to see how those guys.
So let's stop there for a second. All right. Let's be fair. I'm gonna stop here for a second. I want to go back. This part of the video, I want to play something else. I want to play another video. And these are the people who I sympathize with. These are the people who I sympathize with the most. I honestly, the others, the young men, the young women, they can go and do their, things here and there, and they can survive the time, they can survive the pressure, whatever it is, they can go through that. But this is what I feel like cannot happen. These are the actual victims. These are the actual victims of suicidal ills. The person you're about to hear from in this video right here, these are the actual victims because they have no way out.
This is the road leading from Green Jedek to River G. Our people are going to David Cortex. People spend 3 to 4 days, 4 days in the mud. No way to go River G, no way to come out. So this is a lady that I know, she want to express herself. And a lady, my sister, what what is some of the problem that you've been fixing on this road?
This particular road here, you also all say more vote Bwaka. Who vote Bwaka, you say more again. He said you are coming on 90 days for the road to be faced. Yeah. Now see the road condition. And now it's on us. No food, no way for cars there to pass. So when you encourage me now, you encourage me to vote Bwaka.
Yes, you're already in power. You just get 3 months, spend more time.
The 90 they're not correct here.
Yes, we were working on things. We put some mechanism in the place. The president is working, and they'll try to come. You'll see some machine on the road. So you have to be patient. And what you want to say? Your last comment. What you want to say?
And I get nothing to say because I feel it bad. He said, if you're not doing anything now, let you get in and see again the road conditions set the scene. So okay. No encouragement now.
Thank you very much. This is the road leading from Green Jedek to River G. Our people are going to David Cortex. People spend 3 to 4 days, 4 days in the mud. No way to go River G, no way to come out. So this is a lady that I know, she want to express herself. And a lady, my sister, what what is some of the problem that you've been fixing on this road?
This particular road here, you also all say more vote Bwaka. Who vote Bwaka, you say more again. He said you are coming on 90 days for the road to be faced. Yeah. Now see the road condition. And now it's on us. No food, no way for cars there to pass. So when you encourage me now, you encourage me, or you encourage you to vote Baka.
Yes, you're already in power. You're just getting 3 months. You not spend
So
more time.
the night
So-
they're not correct, yeah.
Yes, we were working on things. We put some mechanism in the place. The president is working, and they'll try to come. You'll see some machine on the road. So you have to be patient. And what you want to say? Your last comment. What you want to say?
And I get nothing to say because I feel it bad. He said, if you're not doing anything now, let you get in the sea again, the road conditions set the scene.
So we're talking about 90 days into the presidency, and the president is about to leave the country for whatever reason. We are yet to be told. So at this point, we can't really speak to that. We have to just kind of sit and play it out until we can hear from the information ministry as to why the president is leaving. We are hearing, again, this is rumors that he's leaving for. I'm not going to state that for whatever reason. I don't know. I'm just going to say the president is leaving for reason best known to he and to, reason best known to he and his entourage. All right. But then the question becomes, though, what about the Liberian people? Are we not supposed to be informed? And how long should it take for us to be notified that the president is leaving the country? Should it come out as a gossip and then you come out and confirm the gossip? You know, I remember during the elections, I said these things. I said the fight that Honorable Boyka is often very quiet. He's silent on major national issues. That speaks to how he's going to govern the country. Some people were offended because of our honesty and our sincere views. And because we chose not to align ourselves with some of them, the political junkies, the beneficiaries of all of these political alignments or the handouts, they felt like, okay, they were being offended for whatever reason, which I really don't care. And that's why I speak out the way I do. I really don't feel like there's a reason for alignment. There's no reason for that. The reality here is there are people on ground who are suffering. There are people on ground who deserves better. There are people on ground who deserves far better than what they're going through. But some of us, we make mockery of the situation and try to play party trick. Because politics, as I often say on here, politics is not when you trick your way through the system. Politics is the honest idea and the ability to transform. The honest idea and ability to transform a society. That's what politics is. You guys allow yourselves to be played by these political hustlers and think that they are informed. No, you're not. Because if you are informed, the first thing that will come to your mind is, how can I participate in the process to transform this society? How can be a part of the reform process? But when they are simply hustling for themselves and they feel insecure, then you should sense the reality. The reality is this. They want you, the people. They want you, the people, to continuously remain in bondage. They don't want you to have opportunities. They don't want you to see reason to step up to the reality and say, enough of this nonsense. We are not getting quality education. We are not getting quality health care. And so for that reason, we must and we will stand up. We must, and we look, if some of us, if this was the matter of, if this was simply the matter of what benefits you, I often say this, and I want to reiterate. When I visited Rhode Island this weekend, and I saw relatives of mine who were actually close to my cousin, my late cousin who passed, the former LDEA director. It reminded me of the minds of human. We are very deceptive. This is a man who was well off, serving as the security director for, an institution, and well on his way to retirement. President Weah called him because they played soccer together and they were cool. But because of their refusal, because the few of them who did not think for whatever reason there should be reason to fight drugs, they had their own orchestrated plan and they went at him. So when it reminds me of what the minds of typical Liberians are, it tells you that some of the people who pretend to be in the interest, and these are some of the people who went nowhere in the picture. I remember when you know what? I'm gonna leave that story out for the needed time. I'm gonna leave that particular story out for the much needed time. But we must be careful. They said doctor's appointment. So Catherine Gibson said, "What traveling for doctor's appointment? Based on, whose information? Where are you getting this information from? Who's providing that? How accurate is this information? When I can agree. I don't know where you get your information from, Catherine, but my question is though, where are you? How authentic is this information? Who did you get it from? Is it fair if we can simply just share with our listening audience where the information came from, who provided the information? Because there are some information from certain people that we cannot simply just take into consideration and take serious. So, and because of political reasons, some people just want to be political. And let's be fair about this entire analysis. Why it is true that it could possibly be because of medical reasons, doctor's appointment, but we also must be cognizant of the fact that the provider of this information, to some extent, must be scrutinized. What is his or her motive for providing this information or insinuating? I think these are things that we must take into consideration. Let's just be fair. So I agree. He said it when he returns to Liberia. He went for a checkup, and with his age, 8 times again. Okay. All right. So Catherine is saying that Catherine Gibson is saying he said it. Who is this he that is saying this? But I want us to go back to today's that's I was Trucker Moore, you said something and we were just about to find out. I'm about to go on the Executive Mansion's website, all right? And we're going to look on the Executive Mansion website to just review. It is yet to be posted on the Executive Mansion website. It was simply a gossip or not confirmed information that was provided. It wasn't confirmed until Tumbling George. I know I saw it on a buddy of mine Facebook page. Isaac Duke published it on his Facebook page, and I was looking to kind of confirm. And then gracefully, thank God for Tumbling George, he actually, just reiterated what was stated on Isaac Doe's page. So I was waiting to then just confirm this, and then he received information from the executive mansion or from the office to say, look, the date provided, Tommy George said it would have been on Friday. All right, his departure would have been on Friday. No, the executive mansion then confirmed that it's not going to be Friday, but it's going to be next month. But they did not confirm the reason. Instead, they said the public will be notified as to why he's traveling. So maybe let's go to the executive mansion, E-Mansion, Liberia, and see what they have on there. You would think that this would be something that should be provided to the general public unless it is security sensitive. I don't see that on here. I don't see any information about the president's travel. President Barkai nominates additional officials to government. Let me share with you guys what I'm looking at, so it don't appear as though I'm trying to be selfish. All right. So I'm going to share with you guys what I'm seeing here on E-Mansion. As of yet, there isn't anything on E-Mansion. All right. And I'm going to try to just share it, make it a little bigger so everybody can see on here. This is what we have on E-Mansion. As we speak up until today's date, President Barkai hosts brainstorming retreat with the Rescue Legislative Caucus of the House. And when you go there, it says news and press release. As you guys can clearly see right here. News and press release. President Barkai nominates additional officials to government. I don't think that have anything to do with his travel. President Barkai hosts brainstorming retreats with the Rescue Legislative Caucus of the House of Representatives. President Barkai nominates and appoints additional officials to government. President Barkai condemns recent Israel and Iran conflict, calls for restoration of peace. President Barkai resigns from President Barkai resigns from JMB Foundation board as chairman, announces successor. These are the petty things that they are focusing on as compared to notifying the public as to why Honorable Barkai is traveling out of the United States. The very rescue mission that should have been here to rescue Liberians and provide jobs for them is taking jobs away from Liberians. The very rescue mission that's supposed to be providing jobs to Liberians is taking jobs out of, I would say, taking food out of their mouth. You all heard of Madam Cooper, right? She nominated her significant other, whether it's his fiancé or husband. I'm not going to speak to that, but the individual was nominated as though we don't have competent and reliable Liberians to perform that job duty. It was given to a Senegalese. It was given to a Senegalese to carry on that function. You think about it. Guess what? The recent fire incident, why it is true and obvious that we must be cognizant of all of these fire incidents, because at the end of the day, the local people who don't benefit from government recognition and publicity, when the homes are burning, nobody seems to pay attention to that. But guess what happens? When your government officials' homes are burning, it's all over the social media. All of the news, all of the news networks are running with it. All of their buddies and hands in hands colleagues are okay with sharing all of those information. Hey Gus, what's up, boss man? Yes, Sandy, that's a good question. That's a good question, says Yacindy. I thought they said no one was going to leave Liberia in the first 6 months. That's Honorable Boycott's statement. He made that claim. Hey, I have the video and I can play it. He said this on the 50-50 show, and he also insinuated similar similar thing on doing an interview that was held in Ghana, that government officials will have to stay in Liberia for 6 months until audits were conducted, investigation completed, before people were allowed to. You see why we say these guys are a bunch of liars? This is why I as of this point, I don't think our statements should be filtered. It should literally just be open. Okay? Thank you, says Cindy. It's also on Spoon. There should be no reason why we should filter our statements, because the political hyenas, the scavengers who feel like they can control the narrative based on their illusional minds that they understand Liberia politics better than anybody else, will consistently to manipulate the entire process. Hold on. Let me see if I can bring Sister Cindy on. Here says your, huh? Oh my goodness. You trying to call the studio? Call the studio line, Sister Cindy. You want to charm me? Call the studio line. Let me put the number back up here. Says yeah, here. Call the studio. Call the studio line. Seems like you wanted to chime in on the conversation. Unless I did not open up the lines. Let me see if I did. I think I did. Yeah. Sister Cindy, the studio lines is open. Please. Yeah, I'm sorry. I had to kind of shut it off earlier because I had to leave. And I wasn't here to answer, so I didn't want let me see. Yeah. Says Cindy, please call the studio line. It's 919-324-6828. I want to get to I want to get people view on the the verdict from the Supreme Court. Please go ahead, call me on, or I don't know if you want me to send you the link. I'll go ahead and send you the link right now. Some of us, we're not relying on government jobs, so we're not intimidated by the presence of other people with the thought that, hey, they would take away from our shine. That's not. No, we don't. We don't. No, we don't do that. Sister Cindy, hold on one second. Let me try sending you the link, so that you can She said that's old age. Okay. Oh, okay. She meant to send me some information. Okay. She meant to send me information that I needed to share with so that I could share with the rest of us. But some of the things I think in this interview on that is being sent to me, people are making the claim that, oh, they want to justify the 90 days. My focus here, my focus tonight, what I really want to highlight is the deception. I don't want to play party trick because politics doesn't exist in Liberia. I have had the opportunity, and people who know me, I'm not going to sit on here and try to brag about where and who I have had the opportunity to work with, but people who know me know that some of us have worked in positions where we were opportune to sensitive information and things that we have said. Yes, Cindy is one of those people that I can call out here. All right. When President Weah extended to his presidency his first few months, I told him the vulnerability that was on his device. But let's take Sister Cindy. Sister Cindy, welcome to the show. Let's hear from you, Mom.
Yeah, look, I think that the old age put me on front street or just trying to send you information is that. But since I'm on the air, I wanted to say something. Majority of the people that I've seen all over on Facebook and biking what is happening now, those people yesterday were advocates. They were going at new boutique, Noah Boutique, being a foreigner, having passport, being educated in Liberia, and taking Liberian's job. Now we have a boyfriend of one of the rescue auntie.
Yeah.
Coming to and you know when I hear Liberians, like they say, however true it is that when I was in elementary school or middle school, they used to call her Moses. When Harriet Tubman has said that she could have free a lot more if she didn't really knew they were slaves. And the story goes that when the people would get ready to run away, and the outdoor slave will go to the indoor slave and say, let's leave. There's a better go out there. And the indoor slave will say, but what anywhere that is better than where we are? Our master sick, our master here, where can we go? This is what is happening to our people. But with our people, they're in the darkness. It's like a Plato allegory of the cave because it never left. And those who leave, they are bound by what they see, and that's what it is. People are very deceptive. The UP people went off from stage to stage, from different platform to platform, saying that in fact, we were the one who came for them, say that would be forcing president. In the first 6 months, nobody will leave the country until audit is done and it's found out if the old government or the take away stuff. We have not done so. In fact, literally every decision that is made has come back to bite them. Now, let me say this to all of you that will come and write your agree. Myself agree with you 100%. All right. So anything you want to agree on, all of us can jump in the hot top and agree. But here it is, though. The way you know a leader is the walk they talk. They are trusted when they state stuff. People can count on them. That's the true definition of leadership. Another thing is, Lofa, Papa Bwakai have been in government for 40 some more years. All of this in decision-making positions. A position where he would have transformed, okay? Transition and transform Liberia. He's still miserable. Okay? Now he's given an opportunity where he has, in fact, in government, we say unitary government is the model for dictatorship, right? Because everything is centered around the president, per se, or whoever the leader is. In this case, it is Pape Bouaka. Based on his experience, based on what our people were told,
right,
he should be on his feet. In the government that succeeded around the world, the first 90 days sets the tune. It says where the person will take you. It says how you will answer in real time. It says in time of crisis, he will be available. He will answer the call. He says in time of where the country is in jeopardy, he will be on his feet. He will not sleep. He will be up. He will protect the people. His border will be protected. His eyes will be on his people. In this case, I'm sorry, but this is where Liberia found herself. Bouaka will be the most educated, the most experienced native Liberian that has ever been voted into power. He cannot afford to fail us. He cannot afford not to succeed. He cannot afford not to answer his people in real
But
time.
Sister Cindy, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but then I'm gonna pose the question to you though. The self-proclaimed educated people themselves are corrupt mentally and psychologically in so many ways that they are afraid to offend their colleagues who are on the other side with the hope that they will be given that upper hands. How in the world can we then say that Honorable Boykai, who have no reason to even think about tomorrow, cannot reserve that thought to say, yes, I don't care. I can do what I want to do. I don't have to be president tomorrow because he's not thinking of his legacy. You are thinking for him, and he appears to not be thinking in that direction. How is it that we can sit here and say that should not be the case, Sister Cindy, when some of those who's supposed to be educated? Go ahead.
Let me come back. Let me come back here. The other day, I think about 2 or 3 weeks ago, you, Pee Wee, and a few of us and Alex were on a platform.
Right.
And I said Papa Buaka has about a few thousand positions to appoint, right?
Right.
You told me I was incorrect. Yesterday alone, Papa Buaka appointed about 124. He says he only have 500. Papa Buaka have appointed more than 700 people. Okay, there are a few more jobs, like local municipal jobs that are still out there, like what do you call it, the counties, mayors, the city managers, and all the subdivisions, right, of
Right.
we call it municipals.
Municipal
that,
jobs.
and the chiefs and the client chiefs and all of that. You put that together, that's a few thousand. From an insider in Washington said for a very small country, that's too many people. That's too many people for 5 million people. For a nation, I think Saturday you also listened to us where we were talking to Larry Kennedy, who is a finance major and is a professor, who were talking to us and said, you can't leave in America to go look for a job, okay, and take the position and sit on it. You can, if you're an expert, and I keep calling Lofa out. Sorry, Lofa, I must call you out. Lofa can go to Liberia for 1 year contract and train 100 to 150% every 6 months in 10 over budget. Okay? Nigerian people, let's be honest. That my own papa, this is a papa that has to go back, Josh, we have to go to the hospital. Beg Mr. Cummings to go to the hospital. Have him outside with wasting money for him. I see all of the UP people, all of a sudden, they got 400,000, 300,000, 80,000, 900,000. Okay? But they didn't create nothing. So they have all of that.
But here's the thing though, Sister Cindy, and these are some of the things that some of our colleagues would not want to address on these public or broader platforms to shame these guys. How in the freaking world can a man who had no money to his credit to all of a sudden just become $90,000 richer than he was yesterday? Few months ago, Mo Ali had no money in his account. All of a sudden, Mo Ali is now claiming $90,000. How does that work?
Look, let me say this to you, okay? And I will say this. I'm somebody who believes because I teach kids with different categories. And because I do, hi baby, because I have to sign some confidentiality stuff and where I work, especially like when I work in the financial industry where I have to deal with people information, especially like for what do you call it, Navy Federal, where you have like generals and all of that. When that incident happened with Mo Ali and that little girl, we have a lot of talk. We exchanged a lot of text messages and information. And it's something I would never speak to because he talked to me in private, right? The only time you heard me spoke about it when he came publicly and spoke about something and I spoke as an advocate. Those people, Nigerian people have to call themselves out. If these people have all the money that they say they have now, okay, but they could not pay their rent for the place, it means they're fraud. It means they don't mean well. They were living off of the people and they were lying to them that they didn't have money. They refused to pay while they were there. They say they didn't have money then. So even help a people to go to the hospital, all of a sudden they have money. Liberian people, look, so far, you are saying the person not talking, the person not talking. We say Emmanuel, right? Near now, again. They say when you have a child, that every time they try to fall off the cliff, you hold them back, or off the step, you hold them back. At some point, you have to let them go down the steps. Then when they do, the next time you move them, they will follow you. Or even if you say, hey, they will stand up. This is where Liberia is. Look, there's nothing that you're saying here that you didn't say during the election. There's nothing that you're saying here that you didn't say in 6 years. I remember 2019. At some point, you will be so down. Say, yeah, I have my children. I got my son. He's doing this. And I'll say, look, your son will not have the amenities he has today if Dr. Martin Luther King had told in the tower. Okay, if Rosa Parks said no. If Philip Asher Randall has said no. I'm proud of you that you stay speaking. Do your part every day as you done. When I have the time, when I have my voice, I will also do my little part that I do. And eventually we'll get to where we need to get to. But you know what? This leadership is my pregnancy. It's not going behind.
Nope.
I think I sent you a video of Jacques Paul Clan, the special envoy to Liberia, the special mission, who was the head of the army. He talked about tribalism. He talked about Liberian lack of vision.
Yep.
And he said, if nothing is done, no philosophy, we are doomed. Better I will send it to you now so you can have it. But let me go. It's because I'm mistaking a call. So when you call me, I have to call. When you call, I got to answer. All right. So, but thank you for your voice. Clarence is talking about that when they're firing, lying, and firing like we're on the job. They see you all got together yesterday and spoke about. Now, I don't hear Lauren Margento then yelling. I don't hear Vendetta Patrick then yelling. I know you will come for me tomorrow. My own son, Martin Qualley, who we introduced. No, today he came out on Facebook and wrote some craziness. Talking about, democracy is working in Liberia because Waka say they lost your work. Number one.
This is where Then I come in, I say the level of ignorance exhibited by the self-proclaimed educated people is beyond control in Liberia. Because if a self-proclaimed man who understands democracy can come out and speak to a report that was written about 2023 when this government was barely in power, and then a decision that was made recently based on the law that was passed in 2012, but you distance yourself from that government at a time because you wanted to lie. That tells you how stupid some of these young people are, and they're seeking just the opportunity for jobs. Because outside of Liberia, they are just like you and I working at McDonald's. They cannot make it as they will think that they will make it in Liberia, and that is just the honest truth. Put them behind the interview table and put somebody else to interview them. It's a done deal. They fail miserably, flat on their faces. It's not going to happen. And I'm not just talking to the young men, but vast majority of them who project themselves as educated people, from their decision, from their thought process, it tells you that these people are just simply hunting on the expense of the suffering masses, and that's who they are. They have lived their entire life this way. That's the reason why they cannot simply acclimate themselves to the reality outside of Liberia, because they have lived this scandalous life at the expense of the suffering masses. Go ahead, Sister Cindy.
Look, I'm gonna stay here. I will make those little clips for you. I will send it to you. You can play it while you're leisure. I'm about to do great, so I'm gonna go. We are all on this journey together. We have to live a better life than our parents left for us. So we have a responsibility. We have a charge to keep. For some of us, it's not about a job or about how you call it. For some, how you get all of these degrees and pack up, go sit down like
and begging for a job. Let me bring Gus in, man.
Okay, yeah, and you're winning from a country that has less than 4% unemployment. You can get 4 or 5 jobs if you like. You can make $100,000+ if you have.
If you really want to.
Yes.
Right.
If you want to, yeah. Okay, look, good night to all of you. Thank you for taking my call. Thank you for forcing me to call. Bye.
Thank you. Sis Festina Livingstone, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. Gus, come on, let's hear from you. I know you chose to turn your camera off for whatever reason, but let's hear from you. The decision today. Go ahead.
I turned my camera off because it's kind of dark in here. I can tell you, I just got home. I just got home. I got to put in my lawnmower and all of that. You know, I left the chapier at home. but on the real, so I just got home and I took the kid. I was just gonna put some stuff away. I was listening. It's fun, man. It's really fun, and we told people this. These people had an opportunity for 12 years.
Right.
We saw what they left us, and I told people it's either George Weah or you go with Alexander Cummings if you want to change. There was no way these guys was gonna do any different, and people thought we were just trying to make mockery and do all kinds of stuff, but we're starting to see it. Up to now, 100 years, 100 days, they don't even have a government. These people that were not even educated, George Weah and them at least had a government in place in 100 days. George Weah has started a new hospital, to build a new hospital in the first 100 days. All those things that he did in the first 100 days that it took for granted, they're struggling to even get a footing. They can't even pass the budget.
And these are supposed to be the educated people who are supposed to rescue Liberia from the uneducated people. How dare can you even think about this at this point in time? Like, it baffles me to even sit here and wonder. Gus, let me let you land, and I will come in with this point. Go ahead.
This is the difference. The difference is, like you stated with your son, and Sis Yasini and all of us here. We talk because, again, when we speak, someone always asks us, "Where are you from?" But there is no reason. I know you and I talk today. Lofa Julius, okay, is an IT specialist. He's got his work there. He worked for America. I mean, the city O'Reilly, I think. And when he's off duty, what is he doing? He's still working in his field. Okay. All of this stuff we're doing today, he's networking with us. He's working with other stations. He's doing all of those things. But our men that went to Ivy League schools in economy and all of those things,
They accept
they
jobs.
were in Liberia for 10, America here for 10 years. I want to know where they worked. I want to know what they did. I want to know how much experience they had. I mean, you can go to an Ivy League school here. Me and Gus come out. If I went to an Ivy League school and got a master's degree and all that stuff, my man, I'd be running a Fortune 500 company.
I'm supposed to be among the top, even if I'm not running it.
I'm just
I'm
saying.
a member of the executives.
I am just saying.
I'm making decisions.
I'm just saying.
Ivy League school? You kidding me?
I am just saying. So again, this is what happens, though. You see, these people. I mean, I don't want to hit my man River Pro. These people, what they do is at that Harvard educated, Harvard Kennedy School, they keep it for us. They
Right.
keep it for us low-minded people because that's what we like. We like the facade. We don't care where you live, though. I mean, some of these people have so much money. I mean, so much education, but they couldn't even make it in this country.
It is not
Those of us that don't even have any much education, I mean, we can live here comfortably. We can take care of our children. We can have respect in our communities. But what are we doing? Look, nothing is ever going to function in Liberia until Liberians start to hire people that have experience. Forget the education. You still got to get educated, first of all. We agree with that. But with no experience, here's what these people do. They trick Liberians. Any of you listening to us, instead of them trying to grow themselves in this country, they go for their second and third master's degree only in jobs that they can attain in Liberia. They're not going. If they had a IT degree, they know that IT you can't work over there anyway. There's no IT job in Liberia. So you know what? Let's get some finance degree. Let's work somewhere so we can go to forestry or we can go to these places. So then they come on here. They're going to continue to knock on you. The first thing they're going to do to disqualify you is what they do. I have another degree. I have one more degree than you. That's the disqualification. But in this America, you and I know it doesn't matter. Here's your job. Here's your job responsibility. First of all, most jobs, there's a list of responsibility. And
Right.
the education is like this. Okay? There's one line that, and by the way, usually they use the word preferred.
Prefer. Yes.
They use the word preferred.
Yes.
Because what they're telling you is this. If you don't have the formal education, but you have the skill set to do that job, we're gonna get you. Okay? And this is a reason why we're not going anywhere in Liberia. We knew the old man, like Sister Yasini said, they had no money to do anything. Costa was doing everything for them in Stanton. Then all of a sudden, they're getting all this stuff. And those are the people that are going to tell you that they're going to fight corruption. Man, come on, man. What we can say in America, I'll sell you another bridge somewhere nowhere. But let me put this stuff on in here, and I'll come on and we can talk.
No, yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
I'll keep listening though. I'm just gonna turn my stuff off while I turn these.
Yeah, you have the link. When you're ready to come on back on, just hit the link. But you know, like I said, I felt the need to come on here tonight to really address some of the major concerns in Liberia. It's just honest. I mean, honestly, we must start to speak to some of these things. At first, after the elections, my decision was to just back off. But then I said to myself, then who are you if you have not achieved what you wish for, and then you back up? Let's take this caller, Gus, if you don't mind. Let's take this caller real quick. Caller, your name and where you calling from. Let's hear from you, please.
My name is Eliza. I'm calling from Minnesota.
Eliza, welcome to the show, Mama. Let's hear from you. What do you make of the Supreme Court's verdict today and that of everything else that's happening in Liberia? Let's hear from you, Elisha.
Really what I wanted to talk about it was the fire that happened in Liberia. Sometimes, even though I never supported the worker led government, but actually the things that going on with that fire is individual that putting fire in people's homes. For example, maybe some time ago on SKTV, the house that got burned on the highway, it was my house that my sister's son poured gas my house and burned my house. So I never posted it on my page because I don't like to put my personal thing on Facebook and get for people to say, "Oh, I'm sorry," but actually that fire thing is. I'm not saying LEC is not burning, but individual is doing it because I have people renting my house or guys from Iowa were renting my house in Liberia, and then they told me, oh, they had a leakage there. So I sent 2,500 to fix because that money looked so big in a little boy eyes. People fire in my house and
Oh
burn my
my
house.
God.
I'm telling you. So that fire thing, what you see going on over there, there are a lot of things that are happening. It's not just, for the matter of fact, there was no LEC that.
So man, let me ask you a quick question, Sister Elisha. How did you come to that conclusion that it was your nephew or your cousin who actually threw the fire in there? Did somebody actually point him out to say we saw him do it, or did he confess to that? What I mean, what led you to that conclusion that he did it?
This is what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God, I don't even want to call someone name here, but she's on social media. I don't want to call her name, but she was visiting me here
Uh-huh.
in Minnesota. So
Mm-hmm.
when the house got on fire,
Mm-hmm.
I was so angry when I was at work when they broke on me. Oh, Elasa, the house on fire because I sent the money on Friday. On Saturday, they should have started the work. They called me, put me on video. Oh, the house on fire. Don't never come to Liberia. The people jealous of you and stuff. But I don't know for what reason. Goya helped me and said, oh, calm down. It's nothing. So my boyfriend came to me at work. They was feeding that I would be feeding by at work. I should come home. I said, no, even the husband, if I leave on work, the money I'm looking for, it will not have the cost. So I came home. And then everybody say, oh, Elasa, you can leave stuff like that, even though you say that material thing, but we need to find out how current will not be in the area and fire. I said, no problem. We contact the fire department and then they, they went there for the investigation. That boy called the lady in the house because it's a long story in a way that maybe if you give me the time.
No. You have that. I will give you the time because this is important. In as much as we discuss politics, these are part of the political issues that we discuss because it's part of social political concerns. So you have all the time. Make us to understand because again, you have alleged that a young man was involved in. To some extent, this is a crime. You know that. So give us an opportunity to understand from your perspective as to why you concluded that or it was based on you know police investigation or whatever it is. So I'm not going to cut you short. Go ahead.
This is what happened. The day I sent the money, the girl who in the house, her brother-in-law came from America. They had some occasion going on in Picano. And then he left at the house. The girl said, oh, okay, since you will be here for you to start a roof, to change the roof. So she left the boy with 8-year-old and I think 9-year-old fighting in the house. So the girl said before she could reach to where the place is, where the barrack is, where on the highway there, shuffling, the boy called, oh, and since Angeli, the house is on fire. The girl said, well, what you mean by the house on fire? I just left the house, there is no light in the house, nobody cooking, nothing. He said, oh, I'm telling you, come and fire on your bed. So the girl said she already came back. The whole house was on fire. So after the house burned down, the next day he called again. He said, "Oh, because the person who was in my house said, Ilasa, we need to really find out who really burned the house." So how she contacted the fire department, and then they went at the house to do some investigation. They called him. But before they call him on the way, he called again. Don't go to that hall because Elasa want to put you in trouble. The fire that come in the place, she won't put trouble on you for you to pay for the property. They can say, but Jay, why you say you would say things like that? Why would you say things that even if you want to put me in trouble, it's all right because she spent thousands of dollars on her house. Why would you say I shouldn't go to the investigation, but I will go? So you say, okay, I'm telling you, don't go. That's how they get king. When they get king, and
and this is your cousin or your nephew. This is your
no, my nephew.
Okay, so this is your nephew telling this lady to not to attend the investigation or the inquiry by the fire department. Okay.
Right. So that's how she came. She brought her family because the same lease you can sign here. That's what we made, and we sent it to Liberia. And then the court stated that anything happen in the world except minor wear and tear, and I would be responsible for anything they will pay for it.
Right.
So she was so scared. I get a contract here. Everything is signed in the main in Iowa right now. So that's how they went to the investigation. And they called him. He said he can't come there. He based and stuff and start doing all kinds of stuff. And then they called him at the station for him to go make statement. He just said, and the carpenter explained everything that when he was coming, he was there. He already put fire in the house. Yeah, that's what happened. And
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be very insensitive here, but from what you just explained, it was just based on the fact that he said or he cautioned one person to not attend the investigation because you may be in a position to probably just get her indicted. So based on that, was that based on that? Go ahead.
On that is the carpenter explained the first thing when he told me I coming down because I was just confused. Normally I'm a kind of person, material things don't move me, even though I hurt that beating,
right?
But it doesn't move me,
right?
So when he called me, I said, "But calm down. What really happened? The place is loud." He told me that we were in a yard, and the carpenter the carpenter who's supposed to pay, he said the boy went in the house and saw a little fire and said, "Oh," the small children called the boy, said, "Oh, fire in the house." So, why I don't know the carpenter name again. Said fire in the house, and then when the boy left from in the house, before he could come, because I get pumped in the yard, before he could come, the whole house on fire now.
Wow.
And what he told me, at that time, we thinking about investigation. I already told him, just forget that thing.
Right.
Life.
Right.
Fire in her, just forget it.
Right.
But then when the 4 year insisted that we should make an investigation, they had to contact everybody to take statement for them.
And
so the statement was the everybody was there when they made a statement. The carpenter said, "I'm confused. I was not even at the house. I was on the truck coming with a plane when this guy, other okay, in fire in the house." So at that time, what I know, the how I explained to the people kept that as a secret where this boy told me. So when everybody explained that, before at the end they told the boy, say, "This is what Jay said." Then when the boy was there for them to counter, he ran away. He never came back to the investigation because he never thought that the carpenter was coming to come back. For the matter of fact, the carpenter said he never paid for because the money I said he only spent on the plane fee. And when he called again, He was called again. This is the main point I forget because it's too much.
Mm-hmm.
When he
It's
called
okay.
again,
Take your turn. Take your turn.
yeah, when he called again on the highway, when the girl come, he said, "Oh, Auntie, fire in the one this that." When the girl came on the scene, he was nowhere to be found. The girl said, "But Jerry, where are you? You were calling here. Your engine house is on fire. Where are you?" He said, "Oh, I'm in the community around here. Coming, get away from me." Now, when the people in the community saw he and one boy on the motorbike, they came in the yard and they left when the fire was in the house. So when the girl came, the Heineken were looking for him all over the place. Then after everybody had tried to put the fire up, in the evening, in the day, then he get $300. Say, "Oh, you and your children can find place for the horse already break, so you just got to leave the place." So this is why the investigator, all those things they put together, and they say it was him.
So based on, do you have any written report from the investigators? And we're talking about the fire service, right? Because it is the fire service that investigated this entire incident. And they came up with this decision or this conclusion that it was the young man who actually caused the fire. So did they have any written document provided to you to say, okay, based on their investigation, what instigated that conclusion or that decision to claim that he actually did it?
They got it document everything. And yesterday I had to, Liberia, everything I'm money.
Right.
I had to spend money there for them to conclude. They already get the document, everything is fixed. They already read.
Who? So I'm sorry, sis. Let me quick question. I'm sorry here. Who are you paying the money to conclude on this entire investigation? Who is the money going to? Is the money going to the investigator, the fire service, or is going to the police?
The fire service.
Are they in cooperation? Are they working alongside the police to investigate this entire crime scene, or they are doing it?
Actually, they told me they want to carry him to the police. And so I told them, say they will leave it. Because, Julia, let me tell you something. In Africa, there will be too many problems. Where if I put him in jail, people be calling my phone, "Oh, forget." I just, even my boyfriend.
Well, no. So, Elisa, I understand, and you know, we are African. We are African. We buy into the family, the family orientation, and all of those things. But I mean, when it comes to investigation, the police and the fire service must be provided opportunity to conduct thorough investigation. In this case, they've already started to investigate. So the police will have to be a part of the process of investigation in order to come up with a conclusive investigation and report to say to you, ma'am, this is what we find out based on either scientific evaluation, all of these things. This is what provide us the evidence to say that this individual may have been the cause of the fire incident. Now, if the police had not been a part of it, based on what you just said, because it appeared that you said, no, don't let it go, not, don't bring the police into it. So they investigated the entire scene by themselves, just the fire service. What level of qualification do they have to make certain decision as to who may have done what? Because they have to work with the police. No, not the power, but just the investigative understanding of fire outbursts, the potential perpetrator, and all of these things. I'm just concerned who would
take everything to the police, the fire department, the person who encouraged me for us to do the investigation, my boyfriend, and everything. But for me, Julius, everything at that local area, I already lost. My horse, if you even go on SKTV, you see my horse. I spent over 75,000. I work in the food chain. I spent over 75,000.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Where the people would say this time, all of. But I just leave it with God. I know He the one did it. Because from when his mom, when the mom was living, they said that they were poor and a built house. You know, when you pass down to your children, the anchor, they believe that I should be the one to support the whole generation. And that won't work with me. So I just avoid problems that I don't want for nobody to come in contact with me.
So
That's
okay,
why I just
so
say the people answer with me, why I don't want to take it to I said well just leave it. And I get here you talking about the fire and stuff that what I'm talking for.
right.
Just leave it. I brought nothing into the world and I will not take anything. Now God has blessed me. I can build a house 10 times. So whatever He don't want in the future, He got more because the person who do it, either he was born in the 80s or 90s. So when God bless him, when you see the little money you pour horse on fire for, you will regret it. Say, look at the things where I get, look at where I get today. So for me personally, I leave it to God. Let go on. I don't want to be part of anything that will make him to go to jail. I leave him with a conscience. But God has blessed me so much. I know that God will bless me more. I just leave everything because everybody angry with me here. Why not? That we need to give him punishment that tomorrow he may not do it to other people. I know that. But the thing I really avoid is I don't want nobody calling me from Africa. They hide me. Them are superhuman that the horse burning. Not even the people in the community even feeling bad about me. Everybody thinks that they're feeling bad, but what can I do? This is life. Africa will tell the people you have fought the right people. This is my point. This boy, I help you go to school. He said you whether allow or not. I was saying to teach up college. I did. I even spend money on it for doing the campaign and say you go for the president and it's not coming that tomorrow your life will be better. They choose the wrong path. Then they're blaming people here who trying to come on a family to them. I must go spend all my money in Africa to support generation there to say I'm the mom. I'm only related to your mom. I'm not related to you. For the matter of fact, I'm only doing it because we African. You go even if you are coming to take the money and run away, what will I do? Like what I'm doing right now. But if you can put fire in hot, the only thing I give me hope that I don't want to talk, I know who they are. Because that's why you hear people go to Africa, people kill them, poison them, because you put your trust in them and believe that they can harm you. That means they are evil people. Let everything go.
So, Sister Alyssa,
But let
before I
me
let
give
you,
you that
that just quickly, let me just for the sake of our listening audience, and this is not about me, not is it about and I'm very very sorry for your experience, but I think it will only be fair. I want to believe based on everything you just did here, you're one of those who want to see change in Liberia. So I think it will only be fair to allow the investigative process to go through. We're not, I'm not recommending that you prosecute him because to investigate the scene is one thing and to prosecute a person is another thing. So, in order to avoid the speculation, and I'm sorry to say, from everything I heard you say tonight, it appeared to be speculation. You're speculating that he could have been the mind behind the fire. I don't want to, I don't want to be the provider of bad news here, but that is what I have gathered. From all indication, is speculation. You're not certain as to whether he is the perpetrator. So I think it would only be fair if you were to allow the system to do what is expected of her, to conduct the investigation, provide the report. Because when I actually you said the fire service conducted their own investigation. Now, whether they are certified to conduct all of these things.
You are here everything that money. Let me tell you something. Even by me, even sending money say you're helping me. That come to go pay people. The people will be calling you money. No, yeah, and those things happen to you. I lost already. I come to go pay money. Police people. No. Let everything go. Well, speculated. That neighbor, the thing when he used to talk, even my older brother in Iowa, when the thing happened in Kenya to me, that boy told me that why I say my brother can't even help it because he will even block my brother because my brother is evil. My brother can take care of them. But we prosper because I said the boy told me and I found at all those times. I'm telling you, Julia, that my own family member.
Right. And I'm not disagreeing with anything you're saying, though. To be honest with you, I'm just don't take my input. Right.
I understand. That's why my boyfriend said getting angry with me. The police people you call them in that money. You do everything that money. All the things that material things that in Africa, everything in a beating to people. Right. So at the end of the day, let he live his life. Whether he is not he or whoever they because in the whole community, 2 weeks there was no current on the highway. There was no current. There was no fire. People were not cooking. In for the matter of fact, nobody was in the force. Only he alone. So for years, that property was over there till I brought him there before it happened to help with the roof. So let him go with his conscience and I will go with my own conscience. Or whoever did it, I leave it with God.
Thank you.
I'm telling you all those things are money. Why would I use and start spending money to do what? Let it go. I'm telling you, let it go.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. I mean, the platform, the network. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people who are following tonight will hopefully learn from this story and see how they can take the needed precautionary method to protect themselves from these kind of things, because these are the things that we deal with in Liberia. It's not only in government. We always say these things. Corruption is not only in government, and I'm not here to indict anybody, but I'm just saying the pain you're going through and whatever you're going through, we will continue to say, just do the right thing that is in the best interest of you, your family, and other immediate relatives that you think means a lot to you. But we appreciate you sharing your story with us. And hopefully we will remember to continue to share similar story with other people so that they can learn and protect themselves.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mama. Thank you. Gus, you listening?
Yeah.
Man.
That was a perfect segue though to what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
The fire. Have you seen the fire chief?
Yeah.
Okay.
What
experience does that man bring? Has he worked anywhere in fire service?
But Gus, here's the thing though. DeLon, in one of his interview on OKFM, said the reason why he will nominate anyone in for such position is because of their support for him. So what does that tell you? It tells you that he's not about the experience, the qualification. Competence is not counted in his vocabulary. So here we are.
Right. In this Western world, in any civilized society, even in probably in Ghana or any of those places where they take stuff seriously, right? Fire service, police, and any of those places, you need somebody with some kind of experience, right? Yeah. Because here's the reason why they go that route. This person would have worked the field already.
Right.
Okay. The police chief in your community was once a police officer. He knows what his officers need.
Yes.
He knows the challenges of the streets.
Yes.
Those are the things that he's going to want for his officers.
Yep.
The fire chief. I mean, these people take this stuff real simple, right? They don't understand people actually go to school for this stuff.
The thing is that when you say fire service, I wanted to drive truck.
No. The firemen that you see, most of them have a college degree, okay, in fire science, or went through the military or something of that sort. True. And then work their way through, become chief, and all of those. Mm-hmm. You know what's crazy? Even in this America, I saw they said they're going to change the thing to recovery fire rescue. Do you know most firemen in this country are also nurses? Do you know that EMTs, because again, when you go to rescue somebody, more than likely they may be unresponsive, correct?
Mhm.
So you may want to have those kind of expertise so you're able to actually rescue and aid that person in, you know, keeping them alive.
Right.
But you see, we don't take those things serious. Even okay, let's assume there was nobody with the experience. You hire somebody that does not have any fire background. Now, is this person going to make it their prerogative to make sure that all their staff is trained, so that at least 10% of their staff is trained, so they can retrain everybody else on staff? No, because we don't have the time for that. The fire chief is gonna never wear fire uniform. He's
Right.
gonna be dressed in casual civilian clothes and go to all these meetings, cabinet meetings, and go say one of the entertainment places. How do
Right.
we think we can change our country? We're not. I was talking to my brother Mo Ali. I haven't talked to them because none of them answer calls anymore. So
You expect the
we
boogie. You
look
expect
at
the official.
water issues in Liberia, right? Because that's part of
Right.
this whole fire situation.
Right.
Lofa, every municipality that you go to, counties, they have their own water plant, right? You
True.
know why? Because it's easier to network from that water plant within that municipality than
Right.
to go from Brewerville all the way to Painesville, right?
True.
You can't run water line. Back in those days, like Monrovia was so small. This is why they had one main line in just Monrovia, Central Monrovia. It's growing. Dupo Roche, you have a water plant. This other place, you have a water plant. Now you can network those waters. You can have those waters in those community or those environments to be able to take care of that.
Right.
But you don't do that. Substations, and let's talk about electricity. There's no reason why power should go off everywhere. When your power go off, they always say, hey, we know you have some issue in your area, so you're part of a substation. So
Right.
everybody is not together. You're part of a substation. So when your substation go out, Goscoma on the other side should not be affected. Okay, but it also not give you opportunity to say, you know what, let's go to the other side and go maybe fetch water and do this and whatnot. So everybody is not shut down. But
Right.
again, there is no planning. But you keep hiring people with no experience. You keep hiring people that don't understand how things work. One of the greatest things we have in this country, instead of blaming the people, I always say this, and this is where my brother and I argue a little bit. My brother River says, when I was a little boy growing up in Vonjamana, man, every time I saw plane, I was so enamored. I was always like, man, the white people wicked. That's what they used to say to us. They make something fly in the air. I had the opportunity to go to the military, I wanted to do that. You know, I did avionics. I'm able to see how radar works, how you're able to do crypto, how you're able to intercept people, other planes. I said,
Mhm.
wow, it didn't take much to do that. It just took a simple understanding of a concept
Yes.
and be able to apply it. And today, even in my own life, everything that I've learned has been the fact that I've been able to open my mind to other people who have done it and they have taught me, and I try to share with other people. And that's what we have to do. But this whole thing in Liberia, I'm telling you, this 6 years is going to be so bad. Wait till the infighting start, Lopa. It hasn't even been 100 days. The cabinet is not full yet, right? So
Right.
now they lost what? Another 10%? Because all those tenure positions, those guys got to take their back.
Because you keep on that mountain now.
No, seriously. So let's be honest. I mean, they haven't filled it all.
So,
Everybody haven't gotten a
because
job.
I'm gonna ask you a quick question here, and we're
Ask me,
gonna
my
wrap
man.
up on this, and we'll be back hopefully by God's grace tomorrow. We'll be back on here tomorrow. I
Okay.
want you to just give me your view, your honest view on the hopeful, and I'm saying specifically the hopeful 90 days accomplishment from the UP led government. What is it that you expect to hear in their deliberation as to the success story? What do you expect to hear from them when it comes to the 100 days, excuse me, not 90 days, but the 100 days deliverable that folks are now saying it has become a
You want me to be
the,
sarcastic like I heard on Freedom
well, I
today?
mean, you can
Okay,
be as sarcastic as you
let me
want to, but
start
I
from
just want you to be honest.
the first thing they're going to start with when we inherited a mess. That's going to be on the list. That's going to be an accomplishment. Yeah. We inherited a mess. Joe, we have ruined the country so bad. But our first tourists, I think they said they had 3 or 4 buses of people, international people that came. They took them to PHP Park. That mess that George Weah started.
Is what
That's
they
the
use.
first place they're going for tourism. You know, they had 12 years. They didn't do nothing like that, though. But the first thing they're going to do, they're going to tell you, you know, we had some tourists come down.
Guys, hold on a second.
Yeah.
So the folks that came to Liberia,
Yeah.
they took them to the PHP Park?
Yeah, but man, I thought I tagged you in that video. Oh,
No. Bro, I've
Sorry,
been busy, man.
Sorry, man.
McDonald's drive-through been busy. McDonald's drive-through been real busy. So with all the big mouth, these sophisticated, educated Liberians who served in government for 12 consecutive years had nothing to do with. They took these tourists to the park that was built by an uneducated president that we all sat here and literally denigrated. Took them to the park that he built, even though one would say it was government's money.
Yes, but it was still his foresight that wanted it. Yes. Oh, but before they even got there, remember those people was VIP now. So they came in the same place the man built.
You know what? Go ahead, man. Let me get out of here. You know what? I gotta go to work.
Those people came in the VIP terminal, George Weah, when he first came in.
They came to the airport. I thought it was the one because I heard there was another group that came to the seaport.
My man, they have to show the face of Liberia. There was a former president that thought facelifting Liberia was also important because him as a kid saw some of these things when he traveled. You see what I'm saying? He didn't want people, his guests coming to Liberia and going through some dilapidated area that we have called a VIP section that we had at the old airport. He said, you know what? We're going to build this in the first 90 days. That's one of the groundbreaking he did, first 100 days. So, by the way, when he came back after his first out of town or out of state, after the inauguration, they say he doesn't have access to it anymore. Okay? So the men are going to tell you they stopped motorcycles from going downtown. That's going to be in the first 100 days. They lost a major case on the tenure position. They started asset recovery, and that flopped because the recovery gentleman was busy eating fish and finding anything he could find on the street. They're gonna say they hire all of their officials, their party officials. So I don't even know who's running the party anymore. So, you know, those are some of the changes they brought, right? So Luther Tape got a job. Muhammad Ali is still, I think he's still the Secretary General, I think, right? Or maybe it's Samuel Tuer or whatever the guy is. Yeah. So let's add that on. So we get those guys job. Let me see. Oh, hold on. The executive mansion that was renovated by this same guy that wasn't doing anything, George Weah. That's where we're running the affairs. And by the way, we ordered all the furniture for that place while we were transitioning somehow. I don't know how we had budgetary allotment. We increased the budget by, I'm not sure how much more than what George Weah had. I don't know. Is it even 10%? The budget was increased. But guess what? We're paying more in salaries than anything else. But we also got rid of 200 workers that George Weah had on payroll. I forgot. Something of that sort. So we laid them off. I don't know. It must be right sizing because that was a word they used to use back then. They might be right sizing right now. So I'm not sure. We brought people over to America. In the first 100 days, when our president said he wasn't going to have nobody leave the country for the first 6 months.
Mm.
I don't know what else. I don't know. Kula Fofana still trying to get stuff straightened up with
You forgot, you forgot Mediana Cooper now importing employees from
yes. Oh, I
Chile.
forgot about that. Yes.
Forgot that part.
Well, but Madame Cooper was buying furniture before they even took office. So I mean, what do you expect? So she started importing youth and sport. You know, the youth in Liberia already need. We went from age limit to now we got to bring foreigners. You
Oh,
remember? Yeah, you know the youth leaders were always like 35 or older.
but
So
but,
now
but God,
we're tired with
God,
that.
before we leave, before we get off this, I want let me get your honest view on that whole. I know we're kind of joking about this. It appears like
I mean,
yeah,
I'm still
you're
trying
being
to
very
figure out something
you're
they're
being
doing.
very sarcastic here. Which
Mhm,
I mean, anybody can sense. But let's be fair though.
mhm,
In regards to this employment, the
mhm.
youth ambassadors employment, what do you make of this? I mean, what does it say to the in quotation rescue train that's supposed to come to create jobs for Liberian, and then when Liberians, I mean, opportune to occupy certain position, we can then incorporate other nationalities to strengthen our workforce because Liberian all by themselves cannot get the job done.
I
How
totally
can
agree.
we right? How can we actually build the workforce is what we should be looking at for.
So far,
But that decision to actually right off the bat bring in a Senegalese to occupy that position, what do you make of it? Do you I mean is it something
so,
I mean
so
you're
far,
into sport.
right. But here's the thing: why do we even need those guys, anyways? And that's why I don't get sometimes. I mean, forget about it. But I'm gonna keep it to the national. First of all, I think it's a slap to the Liberian people face. I think it's a slap to all of those people that you first of all say you are getting off the employment list, right?
Right.
You see, PC went ahead and flooded all of these places with janitorial employees that were not making even $100, or even if they're making $100, $200. How much is that really to a Liberian family?
Hmm.
Those Liberian families were putting food on their table, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you saw the urgency of now to get rid of those people, right? And then I want to know what this young man is going to make per month that they brought in. But then I also look around us, Unity partisans or CPP people. You're telling me there's not anybody else that could be that ambassador or that could be that youth, whatever, in Liberia or outside of Liberia? Shit, you could have got Vandella Patrick.
Hmm.
Okay,
Right.
let's
Right.
be honest.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
because that's not a political position. He never
It's not
supported them. Okay,
true. True.
I mean, the brother went to
No,
Harvard.
and
Like
I agree with
Kennedy,
that. I agree
he's
with that.
doing
That particular appointment would have been. I think he may have been well fitted for that position though.
I mean,
I
you could have
just
hired any
assuming.
of those people. But again, what we do is instead of doing that, we're gonna find our friends. Our this is somebody that because Mandela Cooper did not get her preferred job. We all know what her preferred job was. Sarah
Right.
Basil Yanti got that job, right? She
Right.
wanted to be foreign minister. Thank God she was never given that job.
Thank God, dude.
You see what I'm
Thank
saying?
God.
That's the only thing Joseph Boy cannot do right. I'll be
That,
honest.
that,
I'll put down the 100. Yes, let's put that up there because imagine if she was a foreign affairs minister, we probably would have got not just Senegalese, Lebanese, and you go on and on and on, right?
she would have sold this
You
platform
would have
across
sold the
Africa
damn country.
to Senegalese.
Yeah, exactly. So again, I'll be honest with you, I am still trying to figure it out because I don't think that the government is even put in place in the first 100 days. There's nothing you can say if you don't even have your government in place. In the first 100 days, you don't have a government in place. You don't have a budget passed. You say every road would be passed. I mean, nobody's gonna get stuck in mud. But all your people do is run around with roads that are greater, mud roads, dirt roads. What do you think when water get on dirt road does? Don't it turn into mud?
It makes it
Rain,
better.
rain, calm down, put go up.
It makes it better.
It makes it better. All of a sudden now, they grittering. By the way, remember you and I talked about those. Remember when I first saw those, when I started grilling those rolls, I told you I saw somebody putting placard on those yellow machines. That's when I said these companies are fake. These companies are somebody interest. These companies were not in existence prior to this.
Yes.
Because again, my experience
I
with those
remember you
things,
called me. Yeah,
we
you called me
live
that
here. I
morning. You
called
called
you,
me. We
Lofa.
talked about this.
I,
Yeah.
I I told you, I said, Lofa, when I was watching that video, I saw somebody finding this placard to put on the machines. That cannot be a multi-million-dollar company that's been in existence. When those machines came in, they would have had those things on there before they even hit the road. They would
Right.
have been on the back of a flatbed while they were transporting to Lofa Highway or Massanuquoi Highway or whatsoever. Because
Yeah.
again, that's a multi-million
Multi-million dollar
dollar.
organization. Right.
That's what they do. Because even when they're driving their car, so you when you go past it, you say, that Verizon vehicle there, that so and so vehicle there. But
Right.
these people were putting no placard on there while they're working. My senses told me, man, this shit can be right. But my man, I don't know. I'm waiting to hear it though. But I tell you what, the beginning on the young people in Liberia are ready. I'm telling you, it's gonna be rocky. And I hope people like Mr. Cummings have not folded and quit. I think he still has a lot in him. I think 2029 is his time. I always say that Liberian people are very sympathetic to people,
You want to be friends?
especially
You want to
you
be friends? You want to be friends with Sita? Don't say Mr. Cummings need over here because she would get mad. She said that man should not come in Liberian politics no more. She felt like Liberian don't deserve such a good man. I'm just saying. I'm just advising you. You want to be
Yeah,
friends with.
but you know what though?
Mm,
Liberian people are very, very. They have never, and I've said this on this platform,
mm.
even in this America, except if you have not noticed and understand the psychology of human being. Something you have not had, you don't understand.
You don't understand it. I agree.
Try to take something away from somebody that have enjoyed it. Look, we have been on here. We listen to try to take the people phone calls away in Liberia. Remember when
Right.
they had free night meeting when they took that away?
Yeah.
Liberia people thought they didn't have rice. For the first time in Liberia, they they could do without rice as long as they had their free
I
minutes.
love that I had it 3 minutes. Yeah. I agree. I
Let's
agree.
be honest. You're not taking that away anymore. People used to
Mm.
say they will not pay for it. Liberian men would rather have their phone today because that's their hustle now than
Yes.
anything else. But before, when you told them, they didn't care.
They
Just
didn't
like
care.
right now, you know what they all want? They all want data phones. They call it how you call it? Basically, so they can get on Facebook. They understand how important it is to be part of the global society now, where they can call their relative, they can see them. When they're begging you now, they can call you on video, so you can actually see their condition.
See that
This is
simplicity.
why even the GSM companies now, they're not charging them much for voice because people are not using voice anymore. So they're charging them for data. We
Yeah.
went through this in America ourselves. Remember when we had state to state call,
You had
night
to stick to stake.
and all of
You
those.
had to know you had a mobile to mobile. You
Mobile
had
to mobile. Yeah,
mobile,
you
yeah.
started that.
If you call it right, and then and if you had then there was a point actually it started with Sprint to Sprint,
Sprint to
T-Mobile
sprint.
to T-Mobile, and
Yes.
then eventually it went
And then
mobile
it
to
became some
mobile,
kind of
and
partner group.
you
Yes.
know what?
So
Go
look at us today. You see what I'm saying? So
right
again, that's the evolution, and that's what I always tell people. The greatest gift that God has given us is technology. We
technology. Yeah,
Liberia will get better by force.
right.
This is
I
why
fly about
people like you
force.
are on. Even Spoon Stanton, people don't like him and this and that. You can have your beef, but he has his part to play.
No, I agree with that. I agree
You
with
know,
that.
everybody have
I
their part.
agree to some extent. I do agree
You
with
know,
that.
we just gotta. We'll get there, man. We'll get there. I'll be honest with you. In the end, we will get there, and
Thank
you remember for the little you did, Lopa. Yo, thank
thank
you, man.
thank you, bro, for coming on. We appreciate it. Well, hopefully by God's grace, we'll be back here again tomorrow, and we'll
Let's just
continue the
keep
conversation.
what's the name White from our capital because that's the reason why we're buying 200 years. Alan White. Keep Alan White from Liberia.
Tell River says pro that. You know
He's my
what? I
brother.
see you.
Trust me,
I
he's
see
gonna
you
call
out
me
here.
tonight.
You know
That
what? I
dude's gonna
see you
call
out
me
here
tonight.
throwing shots. You throw all the little subliminals and stuff. River says go deal with you. You try to make
Oh, he
River
will.
say like
I'll
he's
have
the
a
bad
post
guy.
for me.
River says it was simply just trying to say, guy, I disagree with other white being and I was
He just, yeah,
saying,
he did
but
not agree with that. He was pissed.
all these subliminals and everything. But when he come back, I will give you both the opportunity to engage.
No, 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 no. He and I already settled it, and I know where he come from. I know his issue. And today when I hit him,
See, Prosper Terry is saying, Allen White is the president of Liberia. But you know what, God, we'll talk that. We'll
there you go.
talk.
Let's leave that one alone. All right, y'all have a good night.
All right, man. Thanks for being on, bro. Appreciate it. Guys, again, it was a wonderful, it was a wonderful opportunity to be back on here. Sometimes while we were on here, I got a couple text messages and people are asking, Lo-Fi, you kind of slacked off. Look, sometimes it is only good for people to make sacrifices. I know. Yeah, I'm gonna call your name. Shannon, you kind of reached out. We had this conversation in the back. You advised against this, but let's be honest with um our our decisions. If you're not making decision because of your individual selfish interests, I don't think you should be much more concerned about people's reaction, whether they agree with your view or whether they accept your opposition. I think it should be about what you vision and what you hope to achieve. And I don't think we should build sentiments based on people's reaction to our desire, our sincerity or honesty, because regardless of where you find yourself, there will always be some level of revolts, disagreements. But I want us all to look at a bigger picture. And the bigger picture here is, what do we want for Liberia? I am not in no way, shape, or form much more patriotic than any Liberian, but I stand for what I believe in, and I believe in what I stand for. So nobody in any way. I remember when across Africa were here, right? When we had to work 9 p.m. to get our free calls. Sita say, yeah. When we had to wait for 9 p.m. Oh, yeah, that too. Yeah, actually, you're right. 9 p.m. you got free calls. Yes, that right there, Sita. Yeah, you had to wait 9 p.m. after 9 o'clock, anytime after 9 o'clock. Yeah, that was one of the expectation, or we would say regulations. After 9 p.m., you got free calls, but you could not call landline though. The free calls after 9 p.m. was mobile to mobile, or same vendor, all right, same cell phone provider. If you were calling Sprint to Sprint, it was free. But if you call T-Mobile, then you're gonna get your minutes out. I know this. Back then, I think I was still working at Wendy's. Yeah, I remember that like vividly. So I can actually speak to that. But anyway, like we all often say, we are not we're not deterred. We remain consistent and devoted to what we believe in. That because we seek no other person's um maybe what we would say, not your recommendation, your approval, or whatever it is, to make impact, and that's what we stand for, and that's what we believe in. We will continuously make it happen. All right. So I'm not gonna say it. I will call you. Call me after the show. Call me tomorrow. We can have a conversation about, what you text about, um, and so forth. Yeah, we had this conversation before. I insisted it was needed for Liberia because we needed to create a balanced opportunity. All right, and here we are today. So, but let's talk about it. Behind, I'll call me, and we can talk about it. Sis Nita, thank you for also contributing to the conversation. Sis Sandy, Sita, River Sis, for all of you guys on here. I cannot name everybody, and appreciate you all for being a part of the conversation and contributing to what is in the best interest of Mama Liberia. We believe that with all of us, with all of our contribution, we can make Liberia a better place. But we should not be deterred by a group of individuals or an individual who, to some extent, at some point in time, needed due recognition. All right, so let us not do that. Or I mean, to some extent, we will we would defeat ourselves. The bigger picture here is how can we change Liberia? And if we want to change Liberia, put your selfish individual egos aside and make Liberia the final destination, the decision for transformation. When you can do that, if you can do that, I can rest assure you that we all will move Liberia forward. Together, we can do it. I have no doubt. So let's focus on the bigger picture. The bigger picture is not Lofa. The bigger picture is not an individual. The bigger picture is Liberia. Until then, folks, I want to say thanks to all of you for being a part of the conversation. As often said, I'm your host, your humble seven, Lofa Julius. I come to you live from the People City of Raleigh, the state of North Carolina. You all have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful night. I'm out until we should be right back yet again later today. Well, tomorrow. Peace.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Say, Allah, eh. Day now break, everybody on the hustle. Some people know like peace, they want some trouble. Crime rates on the increase. The government can protect the people. Oh Lord, no justice for the poor. Yeah, look the way we're living. We're treating one another unfair. Look the way we're living. We're treating one another unfair. Look the way we're living. What's the hope for the future? What's the hope for the future? What's the hope for the future? The hope for the future. Yeah. We have everything in abundance, but we die and rot and breathe. We pray, asking the Lord for another Moses, cause all we have is pharaohs. Yeah. In our suffering, it's what they're making business out. Yeah. The rich get richer and the poor people suffer. Them promise say, them bring development and better education. Our lands are fertile, no food on the land. Our children, we're pushing into begging. Look the way we're living, we're treating one another unfair. Yeah. Look the way we're living, we're treating one another unfair. Yeah. What's the hope for the future? What's the hope for the future? What's the hope for the future? The hope for the future. Our forefathers were taken into slavery, but in a modern time like this, we're children and slaves. We're fighting a war not with guns and bullets. The enemies I see are my brothers and my sisters. We're diggers of graves while we're still living. Don't judge a book by its covers. Looks can be deceiving. Whenever the sun shines, must come a rain. Who will come and take away the pain? Look the way we're living, we're treating one another unfair. Look the way we're living, we're treating one another unfair. Yeah. What's the hope for the future? What's the hope for the future? What's the hope for the future? The hope for the future. Yeah. What's the hope for the future? What's the hope for the future? What's the hope for the future? The hope for the future. Yeah. The hope for the future. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Great. Good night, folks. You all have yourselves a wonderful night, man. It was great being back on here late night, but I'm out. Peace.